Welcome back to Case Closed Anime Review, episode number 21. This I'm viewing the 21st season of the anime. Yep, pretty much I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, now this season was shorter than the last season. This season was overall 35 episodes. Yep, and by the way, next season is also the same length as well. This episode had at least 11 filler episodes and 24 canon episodes. Okay, here are the filler episodes. Yep. The first filler episode didn't happen to episode 658, roughly 13 episodes into season 21. Yep. After that, we have 4 straight with basically 663 to 666, and it was 669 to 670, and then finally the last 4 episodes were all filler. And pretty much for another season in a row, we have and with a filler. Yep, though this time it's standalone, not a two-parter. Yep. First season starts off with a two-parter, which is the first appearance of Mesumi Sarah. Yep, I have been looking forward to this ever since I first heard of this character. After reading her in the manga, she's fantastic in the manga. I love this character. Now we get her first appearance in the anime with the very first episode of this very season, which is a two-parter involving a haunted hotel. And it turns out the haunting is not really real at all. The ghost was actually the murder victim. Yeah. Of course, when they introduce her, pretty much when they introduce the manga, like, it's assumed she's a groper. Nope, it's not her at all. She actually stopped the other guy who touched Serena's butt. Yeah, and what did she do when they found out who it was? Of course, they had briefly have Sarah fight Rachel. And of course, she says, "Oh, you're my type," even though it's a girl. Yep, of course, I will talk about this in a minute. The revelation of this, and how long it takes Conan to realize this too. Yep, and reveal the actual one. So what does Serena do? Kick the guy off the bus for touching her butt. Yep, and they go straight to hotel where they basically sort of meet Conan for the first time. Well, Sarah meets Conan, though there's a past with these two, which I'll get to that in a later season. Yep. And of course, they'll find murder, where a guy is like pushed out a window. Turns out it's actually one of the women who was going to confront him anyways. Person come back to confront him. She was the one who killed him. Why? Because he basically was insulting her father by pulling the whole fake thing with the whole murder thing. And this particular two-parter covers roughly 3 chapters. Yeah, one thing I gotta appreciate though about this season is each episode, each one of the canon episode season is basically not skipping around like it was previous season. This one's basically straightforward, continuing the story of Mesumi Sarah, and she was in a lot of these episodes. Yep. Next one is a 3-parter called Case of the Besieged Detective Agency, which has Mesumi, comes to Detective Agency for the first time. And I believe this is also when she first meets... Yeah, this is the first time she meets Richard Moore. Yep. And of course, the place under siege and takes three ladies hostage. Quite interesting little 3-parter. Oh yeah, at the end of the first 2-parter, it's when they reveal that Mesumi Sarah is a girl via the fact she wears a skirt. And Conan doesn't know about this until the end of part 3 of the next multi-parter. Yep. Oh, I forgot to mention, this season, there's pretty much chapters 768 to 803. Yeah, not bad. So now we're finally into 800s territory. The next season kind of starts the thing to do previous seasons, like skipping over episodes, like skipping arcs per se. Yep. And then after they solved the whole thing with that 3-parter, which they revealed that it was the woman who looked like a rat even though they first was the fox. Yeah, it turns out there was this author who had supposedly killed herself. Nope, it was actually one of the 3 women, and it turns out it was the rat woman. And the reason why she killed her because she actually stole her. She did not give her credit for a book she helped co-write. Yeah. And well, I was arrested later for holding people hostage and mass murder. Yep. And then we have an hour-long episode, Conan versus Harley, the deduction battle between detectives East and West. Yep. Also, first hour-long episodes in season 17. So this is like the previous 3 seasons didn't have hour-long episodes, just regular standard 22-minute episodes. Yeah, this was the first season that brought that concept back, but this was the only time I did it for the whole season. Unlike in other seasons, when you have about 2 or 3 or even 4 of these things per season. Yeah, I do have a personal theory of why they say bring us back now and just this one particular one. My personal theory is that the studio probably was running out of money, and doing hour-long specials was probably expensive to do. So they probably had just enough money to do an hour-long episode. That and probably the hour-long episodes were exhausting for people who actually make the episodes. Because stuff I've heard about the people who work behind the scenes anime, yeah, their tree is basically slave labor half the time, and you can at least praise the fact they put out great work. Yeah. So yeah. The whole thing with this particular episode is that it's Sarah basically meeting Agent Carmen for the first time. Though she does meet Jodie Starling or James Black. James Black, I should point out how this case is his second to last appearance in the series. He does appear again after this into the Scarlet. I think it's like the Scarlet. Scarlet actually is not. I'm looking at now. Is in for it is season 25. So this is again for at least for about 4 seasons, so not for quite some time. Yes, Carmel, this is the first time he's actually appeared in about 2 or 3 seasons. Yeah. But until they do the Scarlet Showdown, the FBI, when they show up, they don't do very much at all. Yeah, they very little affect the plot until Scarlet Showdown, which was like the last special cast of the FBI. Yep. And it seems like whenever they had Agent Carmen show up, half the time he gets involved in a murder case. Yeah, a whole thing involving like a bathroom, and it's quite an interesting episode. But the whole point of this one, just like another one of these things involving Harley and Krista coming to town, it leads to something really big. Though this time it's an hour-long special that leads into a 4-parter. Yep, a 4-parter. The last time it was a standalone episode that led into a 2-hour episode involving baseball. Yep. Yep. Of course, this one is basically about Poison and Mirage. Yeah, there's some interesting things happen in this one. Like, well, it's about like a guy who gets killed in his bathroom. Yeah, well, actually, the son of the son of this company president gets killed in a bathroom, which happened at a log cabin, different area, which has its bath in the same place as another one. And first appearance of a maid who does appear 2 more times after this, and that's it. It's this lovely red-haired woman who actually points out that Conan, when he's talking to other people, he talks like a child, but when he's not around people, he talks like an adult. It's suspected she might know that he's not actually really a child, but basically a teenager transformed into a child. But it doesn't go any place at all, which I kind of wish it was, because I kind of like this maid. Because this woman is, well, very lovely woman, and she's quite useful to the plot. And it's so funny, though, the fact that Harley had to borrow like 2 or 3 times just to look at something. Yeah, but it's quite funny. And also, does Mizumi take a part in this one? As far as I know, no, she doesn't. She really doesn't. Of course, this one also when Cutchin finds out about Jimmy's confession to Rachel back in the previous season when they were in London together in front of Big Ben, and Mike and Harley was like, I think I'll do that with the girl I love. I find something romantic. Yep. But it's an interesting little 4-parter, and yeah. And then we have the 2-parter of the Festa Video site. This has the return of Mizumi, who appears at the start of this particular story and doesn't appear again. Yep, she meets a couple of detective boys in this one, and they're basically, they come back and do some shopping, and of course, George, who's basically bored, kicks on a soccer ball, and lands in some curry by a complete accident. Oh, and messes up Amy's clothes, so for his trouble, Ania slaps him right in the face. Which, yes, that is completely justified for doing that. Yeah. But of course, this is also another time Amy gets kidnapped. How they kidnap her is quite bizarre. They basically don't shock her. They pretty much just sort of knock her out, roll up some carpet. They'll have dip her ear in coffee and part of her hood. And also she does this weird thing where she puts on Ania's clothes because that's what she's wearing. And she sniffs them. Yeah. It's like, I'm wearing Ajin's clothes. Like, so comfortable. I don't know how little girls react when they put on each other's clothes, but it's quite bizarre how this is. And they are pointing out, though, that this particular carpet that these people stole, these guys were kidnapper. These disorders who basically found out about this rug, this Persian rug, which apparently is worth millions. And Agasa basically didn't know anything about it. He just tried to auction off a vase, and apparently these people were interested in the rug, not the vase. And when he found out that, well, the rug's actually for a lot of money, he couldn't exactly auction off because, well, it led police custody for a few months. Yeah, and he's trying to sell some stuff because he's basically near bankrupt. He's near broke. Oh, the detective boys are inadvertently responsible for that. Yeah, though he's a very nice person, and there's that. Yep. But it's an interesting little two-parter. And then we come to the first, filler episode of the whole season. Where it's basically the hot chocolate trip. Oh, it basically happened in a chocolate store. I don't really remember this episode very much. And it's just been a little bit of Serena teasing Rachel about chocolate. And then we have a two-parter, which is part of the Metropolitan Police love story, Serial, which basically has Kaba team up with his first love, though he doesn't know this woman is his first love. And of course, later on, when they show up later in the film episode, he's basically dating some woman, and it's not his first love. As far as I can tell, she does remember him, but apparently he forgets her. Yeah, and Yoniko, who apparently at this point is the only one of the female police detectives who does not have a girlfriend, or at least not a girlfriend, a significant other, because the guy gets with Saito, you have Kaba with this we have the detective who's rich, Sagashi I think his name is, the one who basically is dating the Junior Detective League's teacher, and of course we have Kaba being interested in, well, this particular her partner. As for Yumi, she's like, oh no, I don't have a boyfriend. She does get one later, though she realizes her ex. Yeah, but that's something for another time. It's quite hilarious when they reveal who this person is. Yeah, she tries to stop the relationship, but by the end, they don't really do anything with it. And of course, by the end of this two-parter, yeah, Kaba is an idiot. He's completely clueless to the fact that this is the woman he loves, and he just doesn't realize that at all. That's why I think he sees this woman's face. I mean, she still has the pink tips when she was an adorable little girl, but apparently he's so clueless. Yeah, but this is all involved a series of vandalizing cars. Yeah, which says basically die in Japanese. And it's actually done by a woman where she's been people who basically overstep the backseat with stuff. And that's the reason why that she does this stuff. And then we have Kagero-san is a good man. Yeah, a two-parter that I didn't really care for. No, it's not a filler, it's a canon episode. Yeah, I didn't really care for this two-parter, basically about a guy who posed as Richard Moore just to take care of this old lady who turned out to be her school teacher. Yeah, and he frequently lies. As for what the heck he's doing there, never revealed because the guy never shows up in the series. Not like I think it's almost like an actual murder. It's a quick little two-parter. And then we have Chase the Montgomery Sting Beetle. Yeah, about a guy who was attacked, and turns out it was one of the people who knows him, and well, one of the X-Men Beals, and he's technically the one who's, I think he's one responsible, but half the time it's been a while watching these episodes, so I don't really know exactly what these ones were about. Then we have the Suspicious K, which is no, it's actually the Great Connor's Triumph. Yep, a follow-up to an episode featuring a dog. Yeah, second time featuring this dog, and it's the last time this dog is featured in this particular series. Yeah, him and the owner basically stumble upon a guy who gets attacked, and it turns out somebody else, but not much to write home for this one. Like last time, I just don't really remember what it was. It's been a while since I've watched this stuff. Then we have the Suspicious K, which basically the whole thing with this one involving a loan shark who gets killed, and it turns out it's actually there's not a loan shark. It's basically a blackmailer, and it turns out the person killed him actually one who tried to be a detective. Yep, that's basically. Oh yeah, because he was also there at this particular illegal underground game, illegal gambling, and he got away while everyone else got arrested. Yeah, and the fact that because this guy was being blackmailed by him, so basically he found out about him 6 months prior to this episode, and he later on just killed him. Yep. Let's see. And then we have Wedding Eve, which is the first appearance of Amuro, which, yeah, there's a connection with him and the Black Organization revealed later. Yeah, that's also his return of, well, not Mizumi doesn't appear in this two-parter. Yeah, he apparently is a waiter who works at this party involving, a friend of Richard Moore's who's getting married, and it's revealed these people have the same blood type and similar blood. Yeah, it's revealed that this woman that he's about to marry is actually his twin sister. Yeah, when she found out that she's actually his twin sister, it's like, yeah, it means they can't get married. Nope, it's incest. And he's lived with this woman for 6 months, and he never knew this woman was his sister at all. Oh yeah, and the woman later commits suicide. He was a suspected murderer, but nope, he didn't kill her at all. As for the reason why she committed suicide, never revealed. But Amuro appears, asked to be Richard Moore's apprentice because the whole sleeping detective thing. He does appear a few times for the rest of the season. What's a little two-parter? Then we have the Dark Tower City Church. This was a very good two-parter. I enjoyed this one. Yeah, the whole thing with the Dark Tower is that this place, like this household, basically this particular building is actually owned on a property owned by the former captain of the karate team, basically Rachel's predecessor, who turns out from a rich family. I'm like, okay, so one of two people that she knows from a rich family, and she actually visits their house. As far as I know, I don't think she's ever seen going to Serena's house. He goes to this woman's house, and she invites the junior detective along because why not? But it's a great two-parter. I love the whole thing with the fact he explores Dark Tower. And you're thinking, Dark Tower. Sounds like something from Stephen King. As far as I know, this tower has nothing to do with the Stephen King stories involving Dark Tower, which that connects his whole universe of books. This, by far, is just basically a giant kaleidoscope. But it's beautiful to look at. Yep, and it's a great little two-parter. And then comes the four-parter that I love for this season, that I love from the manga, The Detective's Nocturne. Where Richard Moore is waiting for a person to show up. Of course, Mizumi is there as well. Actually, Mizumi's not there. She's actually at her hotel in what looks like a tank top and shorts. Yep. Oh yeah, and it's shown a few times in the manga that she's known for changing hotels. The reason for this is not explicitly revealed, but it's mainly due to something her brother was involved with that causes her to keep changing hotels. Yeah, but they don't explicitly say what the reason is. That's simply what it is when it comes to her. Also, there's a joke about, and this is basically a recurring joke. I forgot to mention this when she first showed up. There's a recurring joke about her about the fact she's flat-chested. Yes, they frequently poke fun at her for this the whole series, and she's basically shown, not exactly showing off her breast, but basically showing that, yeah, she does have them, and she's just waiting for the grown despite that this woman's 17. Yep. Yeah, it's by far a quite interesting little episode, per se. hmm Yeah, and, well, they go back and forth, like, they go out to this restaurant, this Colombo restaurant. They come back and realize, though, that this guy commits suicide, who was very revealed to be an actual client. And, of course, well, they go to this one apartment, and she guys are shopping. And, of course, Conan comes with her, and she supposedly, and this guy, he's held hostage by her. And apparently Mizumi finds out about this, and then all of a sudden, well, they contact Agasa and Anita about this. And, of course, Samasu basically comes along, too, because, well, he has specifically driven this car. And the Yukon Blitzer, now, like in the manga, they had this wonderful scene when Mizumi catches with her, when she's riding her motorcycle, and she gets on top of the car and she smacks the woman, basically. Not the person driving the car, but another woman they were looking after. Yeah, and I gotta point this out, though, about this four-parter. Now, except for Mizumi motorcycle, which looks very good in this animation, but what the heck is up with the CGI cars? Yes, like, all the cars that appear in this episode all appear looking like they're CGI. Yes, this is my biggest pet peeve. Like, this is one thing I did not like about this four-parter, is the fact that cars look like they're made of they're basically made from CGI. It's like this is unfinished effect. Like, from my soul, this looks terrible. The cars look terrible on the outside. They look great on the inside. Love the looks on the inside when they draw these cars. But my gosh, it's like they just felt like using CGI in this series, which prior to this episode, they had never used CGI. Nothing I could think of, no. Not for cars. Yeah, it's like every car that pops up in this episode, most of the time when it's moving, it looks like it's made from CGI. Mizumi's motorcycle is the only one who doesn't. Motorcycle looks normal. Like in the animations from this that they used for the show, it felt as though that the whole thing with this four-parter is that the cars, the animation of the cars apparently were not ready yet, or they apparently forgot to add them in, so they just made them out of CGI for some reason. I have no idea why the heck this was. Either they ran out of money, or they just basically forgot to put the cell in, because these things look freaking awful. Yes, I have never seen this before in this series. The cars always look fantastic in this series, except for this four-parter, because it looks like these things are driving like cars are basically look like they're crap. They look awful. Like, why? Also, this four-parter is adapting from a five-parter. Yes. Now, the way they stretch this out is they add a couple things to this particular thing. One, they had Susumu basically wait in his car for Agasa and Nita. The other, of course, is having Amuro, while driving his car with Rachel and Richard, having Richard move, like, buckle his seatbelt up, having Rachel unbuckle her seatbelt, get close to him, just so they can stop the freaking car. And that's when Mizumi basically lands on top of the car, kicks the hostage taker. Oh yeah, and the reason why she did all this, she wanted to get back at the bank robbers for killing her boyfriend. That's the only reason why she did this. She didn't actually kill any. She killed people in self-defense, though she foolishly put a wiretap in the suitcase of, well, the guy's apartment. And this is a funny thing involving Mizumi later. Is like she keeps calling her. Apparently, she keeps ignoring her. Yeah, this is also a minor gag with her in the series, where she frequently calls Rachel for some reason, and she keeps ignoring her. So, like, her flat chest and the fact she's frequently call her, yeah, that's a recurring gag when it comes to her the whole series. And here's the weird thing, though. After this particular arc and the following one, she disappears for a little while. She disappears for quite some time in the manga. She disappears for about 30, 40 chapters. She disappears for quite some time. Yeah. But I love Detective Nocturne. The story is great. Do not care for the CGI cars. Though it does say something involving the character Bourbon. It's assumed it's three characters at the end of this part. Verma, let's contact them. It's assumed it's Samasu, Amuro, or Mizumi. Now, Subaru basically is not, I repeat, not Bourbon. I know who Bourbon is. I'm not going to reveal who it is here. I'll reveal when I get to the episode that basically that revelation. And after that, we have a two-parter called I Won't Forget Millimeter. Yeah, this is basically, well, we see Mizumi at the beginning of the episode. Another second time this season, she appears beginning, and then she's seen like chasing a guy who thinks is her dead brother. Who thinks someone she knows, though it's actually supposed to be her brother. They don't reveal this until later. And she loses him, and that's last we see of her in this particular two-parter. Yeah. And the whole thing with this one is Gasa and the True Detective League are invited to this couple's house because they gave them rice because they forgot to bring rice. And this couple is basically known for arguing a lot. And basically the wife literally gets stabbed in the shoulder. And apparently she's also been very moody, vomiting, and very, let's just say, not in a good mood half the time. Yeah, as for the reason for this, believe it or not, it's actually not revealed toward the end of the second part. You see, the reason why she's acting the way she does is because she's pregnant. Yes, and it's also revealed that she and her husband married for 10 years and they never had a child, but now, yep, they can have a child. And she's like, tells him, like, at the end of the two parts, like, of course, she was trying to scare him just to get rid of his hiccups. Okay, you have to make sure all dinners are home and no more affairs, because apparently he apparently cheated on her once. Somehow it's never really delved into, but yeah, great little two-parter, but it's the last two-part of the whole entire season. And then we have two standalones and two-parter, and a two-parter, and that's really it. Yep. First we have the Footprintless Beach. Yep. Involving a woman, the victim in this episode is a woman who's 35 years younger than her husband. Yep. Yeah. Richard Moore, when she first saw Yusuke, thought this woman was actually his daughter. Nope, it's his wife. Yes. And she gets killed by him and here's the reason why. She married him for money. That's the reason why. Okay. And how she's killed, okay, first she's strangled, and then they put her in a wetsuit while they put like bags on her toenails, so she was painting at that point. Slips in her wetsuit, ties the cord she was used to strangle her around her neck, and basically just move her to this beach. As for how they accomplish this, is quite ingenious. How you say move without basically causing finger footprints. Using like this move, I think it's something you put surfboards in, moves like a crawler tracks, like carries the body, puts on the beach, and then rolls right back with it. Okay, interesting. Yeah. But the whole thing about this episode is just mainly, it's just Richard Moore, Rachel, and Conan going surfing. And Rachel and Conan basically got it down to a T. They're basically great at surfing. Richard Moore sucks at surfing. Yeah. But it's a great little standalone episode. And then we have the Gasi Mystery Theater. Interesting little two-parter. No one actually dies in this one. Well, one person gets taken to the hospital while beating the crap out of him. And also, it's revealed that one of the actresses is in a relationship with the writer. And apparently the agency she's involved with apparently does not allow a relationship, though at the end of this two-parter, they apparently support this one. My guess is because the writer is a well-known person. Oh yeah, and the reason why the other guy was put in the hospital, believe it or not, here's the reason why. Because he found that the second victim, turns out he was selling artwork as props. Yep. He was doing something very much illegal that wasn't going to be found anyway, so yeah. And apparently the writer was a recluse in a way, where he basically sends parts of the script, but he doesn't give the conclusion of who the culprit is in this two-part drama. Apparently it's set during, I think, like the 18th century. Actually, more like 19th century, I think it is. Yeah, 19th century. Like, probably during the Meiji era. That's what it looked like, but it's a great little two-parter. And also quite unusual for the series to have a female character whose hair is blue. Yes, as a character in this two-parter, her hair is blue. Yeah, but I've never heard of an acting agency that bans relationships. Yeah, they'll specifically go into exactly why this is, though I think it's quite stupid. Because that just means the person can't be happy. Yeah, just like some idiots at Marvel and DC can't allow superheroes relations because they want them to be happy. Though that's something else, bro. That's something else when it comes to this for comic books. And then the last episode is basically about Cactus, called Cactus, like Rhapsody. Though on here it's for a different name. Crapico, but I saw it referred to as Cactus, like Rhapsody. The whole thing with this one is that you have this rich guy who apparently loves Cactus, and he's killed. Now, it's assumed it's one of the sons that killed him, probably because for money, and he changed the will so the money goes to the garden instead of basically going to them. And it turns out it was actually the maid. Why she killed him? Excuse me, here's the reason why. Because apparently he was an evil businessman. Yep, an evil businessman who drove other people who own business into bankruptcy, and these managers commit suicide. One of whom happened to her father. She hated this guy so much, and despite the fact that Rachel, Conan, and Serena came over, she said she had doubts, but she had to now ever. How should she kill him? Whack him in the head with a shovel. Yep. And set up the alarm by putting flower pots, one top of cacti, and of course on top of the radiator. Yep. And that was a nice little moment, basically, of Serena referred to Jimmy as Rachel's husband, even though she's not married yet. They'll become boyfriend girlfriend later, but not husband and wife. Yep. But it's a great little episode to end the season off. So I would say, of all these episodes, story-wise, Detective Nocturne is the best, despite its terrible animation of cars. Yes. But this season took me okay amount of time just to finish me. I finished the last season roughly almost a week ago, so yeah, today was a good. I was hoping to finish the season up roughly a couple of days ago, but other things got in the way in time, so I now get the season done. Yeah. Now the next season is going to be 35. It's 35 episodes long, and since finishing up this season, I now have officially 6 seasons to go for the entire series, and as of right now, 260 episodes left. Hopefully, it doesn't take me too long to finish the remainder of the series. I hope to God no. I hope it takes me about a month because I've been working this freaking January. Yep, for almost 6 months I've worked on this series, and I'm getting closer and closer to getting it done. Yep. So yeah, that's it for this particular review. I have 2 more videos coming today. One is a review of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, which I'll do that soon, and a review of the newest chapter of the My Hero Academia manga. Okay, but see you next view. Bye.